Okay, picture this. Two kids in a sandbox yelling "mine" over a toy truck. They're both pulling at it, neither willing to let go, and the whole scene is just a mess of sand and tears. That's basically the US and China right now, except the sandbox is the global economy, and the toy truck is, well, everything. We're talking about goods, services, technology, and even influence over other countries. We're talking about a trade war, folks. This isn't just a spat over a single toy, it's a full-blown economic showdown with far-reaching consequences. It all boils down to this. Both countries want to be top dog. They want to dominate the global market, set the rules, and ensure their own economic security and growth. They want to be the ones calling the shots on trade, technology, you name it. From who gets to sell the latest gadgets to who controls the supply chains of critical resources. So they slap tariffs, which are basically taxes, on each other's goods. These tariffs are meant to make imported goods more expensive and less attractive to consumers. This makes those goods more expensive, hoping people will buy their own country's stuff instead. The idea is to protect domestic industries and jobs by making foreign products less competitive. Think of it like this. China makes a phone. It's a sleek, high-tech device that everyone wants. The US slaps a tariff on it. This means that when the phone arrives in America, it has an extra cost tacked onto it. Now that phone costs more in America. Consumers see the higher price tag and might think twice before buying it. People might buy an American phone instead. This is exactly what the US government hopes for, that consumers will choose domestic products over imported ones. It's all a big, messy game of economic chicken. Each side is waiting to see who will blink first, who will back down, and who will suffer the most. But here's the kicker. This trade war isn't just about phones or toys, it's about much more than that. It's about who will lead in the industries of the future. It's impacting something much bigger, the future of electric cars. Both countries are heavily investing in electric vehicle technology, seeing it as the next big thing in transportation. And it's not just cars. This trade war extends to renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and other cutting-edge technologies. Whoever wins this economic battle could set the standards and dominate these crucial sectors for decades to come. The stakes are incredibly high. It's not just about current profits, but about future dominance. Both countries are trying to secure their place as the global leader in innovation and economic power. And let's not forget the human element. This trade war affects real people, from factory workers to farmers, small business owners to consumers. Prices go up, jobs are at risk, and economic uncertainty looms large. People are worried, and rightly so. Trade policies can have a ripple effect, impacting everything from the cost of groceries to the availability of jobs. It's a complex web of cause and effect. And then there's the future workforce. How will this trade war shape the next generation of workers and innovators? Education and training programs are already feeling the impact as countries adjust their strategies. In the end, while it might look like a shoving match in a sandbox, the reality is far more complex and far-reaching. Global cooperation and competition are both at play, and the outcomes will shape our world for years to come. So, as we watch this economic drama unfold, let's hope for a resolution that benefits everyone. After all, in this interconnected world, what happens in one sandbox can affect us all. Now, electric cars aren't just a hunk of metal and four wheels. They represent the future of transportation, a shift towards sustainability and innovation. They're packed with sophisticated technology, from advanced battery systems to cutting-edge software that controls everything from navigation to energy management. And a lot of those parts come from, you guessed it, China. We're talking batteries, magnets, electronics, and even some of the most critical components that make these cars run efficiently, the works. These parts are essential for the performance and reliability of electric vehicles. But remember those tariffs we talked about? They're not just numbers on a page, they have real-world consequences. They're hitting electric car parts hard. The tariffs imposed by the US on Chinese-made parts are making these components significantly more expensive. The US slapped tariffs on Chinese-made parts, making them more expensive for American car companies. This means that the cost of producing electric cars in the US has gone up. What does that mean for you? Well, it means that the price tag on that shiny new electric car you've been eyeing is likely to be higher. More expensive electric cars, of course. The increased costs of parts are passed down the line to consumers. Those tariffs get passed down the line like a hot potato no one wants to hold. Manufacturers, dealers, and ultimately, you, the consumer, end up bearing the brunt of these added costs. It's basic economics, folks. When the cost of production goes up, so does the price for the end consumer. And this isn't just a minor increase, it can be substantial. And it's not just the US feeling the heat. The ripple effects of these tariffs are being felt globally. China retaliated with its own tariffs on American-made car parts. This tit-for-tat escalation has created a complex web of increased costs and supply chain disruptions. It's a trade war, after all, tit for tat. Each side imposing tariffs in response to the other, leading to a cycle of retaliation that affects industries and consumers worldwide. The bottom line is this: those shiny, eco-friendly cars everyone wants, they represent a significant step towards reducing our carbon footprint and dependence on fossil fuels. They just got a whole lot less affordable thanks to this trade war. The dream of widespread adoption of electric vehicles is being challenged by these economic policies. So what can be done? Policymakers need to find a balance between protecting domestic industries and fostering innovation in the electric vehicle market. Negotiations and trade agreements could help mitigate some of these costs, but it requires cooperation and compromise from all parties involved. Until then, consumers and manufacturers alike will have to navigate this challenging landscape, making tough decisions about affordability and sustainability. The future of electric cars is bright, but the road to widespread adoption is filled with obstacles. Tariffs are just one of the many challenges that need to be addressed. Innovation and collaboration will be key to overcoming these hurdles and making electric vehicles accessible to everyone. As we move forward, it's crucial to keep the bigger picture in mind: a cleaner, more sustainable future for all. And that's something worth striving for, despite the challenges we face today. But wait, there's more. This trade war isn't just about money, it's about something even bigger: technological dominance. Both the US and China want to be the global leader in electric vehicle technology. Think of it like a race. A really expensive race where the winner gets to control the future of transportation. China's been pumping billions into developing its electric vehicle industry. They're building factories, investing in research, and churning out electric cars like nobody's business. The US, on the other hand, well, they're playing catch-up. They've got some big players in the game like Tesla, but they're still lagging behind China in terms of production and investment. This trade war is just adding fuel to the fire. Each country wants to protect its own companies and gain an edge in this electric engine race. It's a high-stakes game of technological one-upmanship. Now let's talk about those electric car parts again. Remember how a lot of them come from China? Well, this trade war has thrown a wrench into the global supply chain. Think of the supply chain like a well-oiled machine. Parts get made in different places, shipped around the world, and assembled into shiny new cars. But the trade war is like throwing sand in that machine. Tariffs, shipping delays, and political uncertainty make it harder and more expensive to get those parts where they need to be. This means car companies, both in the US and China, are facing production delays and rising costs. And it's not just car companies feeling the pinch. Consumers might see longer wait times for their electric dream car, and those prices, yeah, they might not be coming down anytime soon. So, how are the US and China dealing with this trade war chaos? It's a complex situation, but both nations are channeling their efforts into the electric vehicle (EV) sector, albeit with different strategies and goals. Well, they're both doubling down on their electric vehicle ambitions, just in different ways. The US is focusing on bolstering its domestic production capabilities, while China is leveraging its existing strengths to expand its global influence. The US is pushing for more domestic production. This means ramping up the manufacturing of electric car parts within its borders, aiming to reduce dependency on foreign imports, particularly from China. They want to make those electric car parts at home, reducing reliance on China. This includes everything from batteries to computer chips, which are crucial components in the EV industry. Think of it like this: make electric cars great again, but instead of hats, it's batteries and computer chips. The US government is incentivizing companies to set up shop domestically, offering tax breaks and subsidies to encourage local production. They're also investing in research and development, trying to catch up with China's technological lead. American universities and private companies are pouring resources into innovation, hoping to make breakthroughs that will give them a competitive edge. It's a classic American response: throw money at the problem and hope for the best. Billions of dollars are being funneled into the EV sector, with the hope that this financial muscle will translate into technological advancements and market leadership. China, meanwhile, is playing the long game. They have been investing in the EV sector for years and their strategy is starting to pay off. They're continuing to ramp up production, aiming to dominate the global electric vehicle market. Chinese companies are not just focusing on domestic sales, they're aggressively targeting international markets as well. They're also investing in infrastructure, building charging stations, and creating a more electric car-friendly environment. This comprehensive approach ensures that the growth of the EV market is sustainable and scalable. It's a battle of strategies. America's focused on domestic strength, while China's playing the field, aiming for global dominance. The US is betting on its ability to innovate and produce high-quality products, while China is leveraging its manufacturing prowess and expansive market reach. Who will win? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Both nations have their strengths and weaknesses, and the outcome will likely depend on a variety of factors, including technological advancements, market dynamics, and geopolitical developments. One thing is certain, the race is on, and the stakes are incredibly high.